Junior welterweight Jack Catterall has been waiting a very long time for the opportunity to once again punch Josh Taylor in the face. He's been waiting for this since February 2022 when he faced then undisputed Taylor for Taylor's belts as a number one contender. And in a bout that ended with a controversial split decision victory for Taylor, Catterall sought a rematch immediately, but it was not to be. There were circumstances that delayed it. Taylor didn't really want to fight at the division again, and he just wanted to put Catterall on the back burner. Let's talk about this a little further as the fight, the rematch, has been postponed once again. Josh Taylor, former undisputed junior welterweight champion, has put himself in a position that he is not undisputed anymore, but he is still the WBO champion. And he's still celebrating his position after a narrow escape against Jack Catterall. But it's being reported today, just as the big fight that took place in England between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith, it appears that Josh Taylor has suffered an injury that will now postpone the fight, the rematch that he was scheduled to have in March against Jack Catterall. Now, the down part about this is the two combatants were supposed to face one another way before now. But Taylor prolonged things when he couldn't decide whether or not he wanted to face Catterall at all, at a catch weight, or with all of the titles. So he started abdicating titles. And again, the WBO remains in his grasp. And it doesn't matter to Catterall because he wants that rematch. After many delays and finally an agreement to face one another in March of this year, 2023, now the fight is to be postponed again. Josh Taylor has suffered a major foot injury. It appears that the plantar fascia injury that he suffered to the arc of his foot is going to require 6 to 12 weeks to recover. That's not good, people. The fact that Catterall has been waiting over a year now for the opportunity to get back in the ring to prove himself again after the success that he had against Josh Taylor the first go around. Whenever he fights again, he'll be bringing his record of 26-1 with 13 KOs to the ring. That one defeat being the split decision loss to Taylor. What's worse about this is it was a fight that was very controversial, as the Southpaw United Kingdom native boxed Josh Taylor to the degree that it showed that Josh Taylor was really not as polished as many may have thought going in. He having won the Super Series tournament and coming into that fight with all of the titles. Taylor looked lost in his fight. He was cut twice above the left eye. He was dropped for the first time in his career in the 8th round. And he was even deducted a point in the 11th round for punching after the bell. Catterall was deducted a point for holding in the 10th round. But judges saw this fight as 113 to 112, 111 to 114, and 112 to 113 in favor of Josh Taylor. Stormy B-Man saw this as a clear-cut victory for Jack Catterall, whom I was told to be on the lookout for going into this fight, because I hadn't seen much on the young El Gato, his alias, in the ring. This postponement does not help Catterall. If they were to actually face one another after Josh Taylor is on the mend, Taylor, whose record is now 19-0 with 13 KOs, will have had Catterall out of the ring for almost 17 months, because there's still a 6 to 12 week training camp for them to face one another. I think that it's time that Jack Catterall started looking in a different direction, people. And I don't say that as if I don't think that he deserves his opportunity. He does. Believe me, he does. But at what expense and cost to his own career, for his career to be held up for almost 2 years with a fighter that very well may just not fight him after all of this? Remember, the undisputed junior welterweight champion Josh Taylor was going to go up to the welterweight division, brandishing his belts as leverage to take on either Terrence Bud Crawford or Earl Spence Jr. at the time. But now things have changed. Even in the welterweight division, where there are new young lions that are waiting for the opportunity against anyone, champion or contender alike, with the likes of Jerron Boots Enos, you have Virgil Ortiz, Imantas Stanionis, Jamal James, just to name a few. So these guys are ready and willing to take on whomever decides that they want to come up to the division. Do you think that Taylor is ready for that? He had his troubles against Catterall. And let I forget the fact that some of these welterweights are southpaws also, if not capable of switching to southpaw. Taylor is in a tight spot, a real predicament. And the thing about it is, he's not getting any younger, people. He's not. And what is he going to do once his foot heals? He's 32 years old, and the Tartan Tornado is 5'10" with a 69.5-inch reach, but did not show adjustments when he was in there against Catterall. Something that really made boxing pundits take note. Will he put himself in a position to face this man? In this climate that we're seeing of boxing today, a lot of the fighters do not necessarily want to get in there against someone that can make them look bad. And Taylor be amongst these guys. There's also a rematch in question with Regis Prograis, who is chomping at the bit to get Taylor back in the ring. And newly crowned WBC champion Prograis may even be interested, seeing that he hasn't had a challenger yet for his first title defense. He may be looking at Jack Catterall, because if he goes in there against Catterall and looks great and beats him more soundly than what Taylor was able to do, who needed the officials to help him, it sets up a real interesting showdown in the future for the two foes to run it back. What do you think? Do you think that Catterall deserves a shot, regardless of if it's Taylor or Prograis? I'm all for him getting his shot. I truly am. I want to see fairness in the sport of boxing, but it doesn't always happen that way. We don't always get what we want. And if you just take a look at this shot right here, as the bell rang for the 12th and final round, who really looks the victor in this fight, in this image? Who really looks to be excited at what's coming? Taylor looks very happy that the fight ended and he made it to the final bell. Is it more telling that Catterall's elation resonates the fact that he put on a performance that he's proud of? And I remember saying, when this fight ended, to myself, I'm like, wow, this kid beat him. He upset him. And then only to be disappointed when the officials once again put another black eye on the sport of boxing. A shame. Because the fighters don't ask for that type of help. And it doesn't help the sport at all when officials just can't get it right. What are your thoughts? Should Catterall move on? Should he look to challenge Regis Prograis and go a different direction? Should Prograis accept his challenge and look to beat Catterall better than he was defeated by Josh Taylor? An interesting conundrum. But I'd like to see something take place, and I would like to see Jack Catterall in there challenging for the title again. A title that should have rightfully been his, as undisputed. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.